I'm 85 years old. I've outlived my wife, Mary, the woman I once believed we'd have our whole lives together with. I've outlived my son, Daniel, the child I always thought I'd call some other day. I've outlived old friends who used to say we had many more years to enjoy life. And I've also outlived the foolish version of myself, the one who once believed time was always on his side. At this age, I'm standing right at the edge of life. I know I'm about to leave the game. And before that happens, I have to turn back and speak to you. Those of you still running around with blind confidence about something I understood too late. You're living in an illusion. You treat your days as if they're cheap, as if you have thousands of chances to love, to fix things, to say what you should say today. But let me tell you the truth. You don't have as much time as you think. Time is not your asset. It leaves you faster than you realize. You don't feel its blade, but it's right against you. And if you truly felt it, you wouldn't procrastinate. You wouldn't stay silent. You wouldn't miss the small moments that later become the deepest cuts in your life. Sit down. What I'm about to tell you may hurt, but it could save you from a far crueler pain. And to help you understand why I'm saying this, I have to start with my wife, Mary. It was 1973, on an ordinary Tuesday evening that no one thought could shatter an entire life. I was 34 then, young, full of confidence, full of the delusion that I had infinite time to love, to make things right, to make up for it later. I was right in that phase where men think they're invincible. Career advancing, phone ringing non-stop, colleagues needing me, boss needing me. And I believed Mary, my wife, would always need me too, always wait for me. I thought love was something that could stand still and wait while I finished every other race. That October, when the weather had just turned cold, I remember clearly. Mary was 32, petite, her eyes always softening whenever she looked at me. She was the kind of person who always saved the most peaceful part of the day for us, and I saved the worst part of myself for her. The exhaustion, the rush, and the stupid belief that I can do it tomorrow. That evening, around 8:15, Mary was washing dishes. She paused and looked at me, her voice a little hoarse. How about we take a 10-minute walk? I'm feeling a bit tired. I want to breathe. 10 minutes. She wasn't asking for an hour, not an evening, just 10 minutes, with her husband. But I didn't look up. I didn't meet her eyes. I kept my face buried in the stack of files, tapping my pen on the desk, and answered as if it wasn't worth a thought. Let's do it tomorrow. I'm really busy. I said it like tomorrow was the surest thing in the world, like Mary would always be there for me to choose. Around midnight, I heard a strange sound from the bathroom. Not loud, but it's the kind of sound you'll remember until the end of your life. When I ran in, the water was still running. The light reflected off the cold tile floor. Mary was lying there, body curled, one hand touching the edge of the sink, as if she'd tried to steady herself. Her face was pale, a pallor you'll never forget. I knelt down, called her name, but the sound of water dripping onto the floor seemed to swallow my words. I lifted Mary up, and it was the first time I felt the body of the woman I loved become terrifyingly light. Her fingers in my hand grew cold faster than I imagined. Every second passing was a stab. At the hospital, the smell of antiseptic hit me straight in the nose. Every breath I took felt sliced in half. They wheeled Mary into emergency. I stood outside, hands still shaking, water from her hair still dripping onto my sleeve. When they let me in to see Mary, there were only a few brief moments left. She opened her eyes. No blame, just sadness. A sadness so deep I knew I'd broken something irreparable. Mary moved her lips. I just needed 10 minutes. 10 minutes. A simple, light sentence, but strong enough to crush me for the more than 50 years that followed. On the day we laid Mary to rest, I stood in front of her coffin, unable to cry. Not because I was strong, but because I was too empty. I couldn't believe that a careless sentence, a look I didn't return, a walk I refused, could be the dividing line between us and just me. After the funeral, when I sat down at the dining table, the two chairs were still there, one for me, one for Mary. But only one person came back. Mary's chair became a cruel reminder of all the evenings I had treated as normal. Can do tomorrow. Mary never needed lavish vacations. She never demanded expensive gifts. The only thing she needed was me. A version who knew how to stop, how to look at her, how to give 10 minutes. And I didn't. Love doesn't die from big tragedies. It dies from the small moments you always think you can push to tomorrow. I am the most painful proof of that. After losing Mary, I thought I would wake up, but no. I did what many foolish men still do. I buried myself in work as a way to escape. I became a walking corpse, rushing to the office from morning till night every day, thinking busyness was the only way not to face the emptiness. And in the process of saving myself in the worst way, I hurt the only person left, Daniel. The boy was only 13 when his mother died. He needed me so much, but I was a cold, quiet father who merely existed instead of being present. I didn't ask if he was okay. I didn't hug him. I just told him to hang in there, then kept diving back into work as if it were a safe shelter. By the time Daniel was 19, a small, utterly meaningless argument broke out. One I can't even remember how it started. I said harsh words. He slammed the door, and that was the last time my son and I spoke for nearly 6 years. 6 years, not a single call. I always told myself, later, next week, when I'm more stable. But later is the most dangerous lie people whisper to themselves. Then one night, close to midnight, the phone rang. The voice on the other end was clear, cold, with no room for hope. Daniel had been in a car accident. He was in emergency. I don't remember how I left the house. I only remember the sound of my shoes echoing down the hospital hallway, each step pounding into my chest. The cold white lights on the ceiling made everything look like a bad dream you can't escape. When I reached the room, Daniel lay amid wires, machines and steady beeps that hit my heart directly. My son, the child who used to laugh out loud running around the living room, was now lying still as if life had extinguished everything unfinished in him. The doctor looked at me, voice hoarse as if he'd said it too many times. If you have anything to say, say it now. Time, the thing I always thought I had. Now it was reduced to a single sentence. I held Daniel's hand. His hand was cold, cold like Mary's years before. I leaned down and whispered, my voice breaking in a way I'd never let it in my whole life. Dad loves you. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. But I don't know if Daniel heard me. I don't know if he recognized my voice. I don't know if he felt what I'd failed to say for 6 whole years. Daniel left before I could get an answer. And that's when I understood a truth so cruel that only those standing at the death of someone they love can grasp. You think you'll get a chance to fix it. You think there'll be a next time, but life doesn't work that way. It slams the door shut faster than you can say sorry. The distance between a beautiful relationship and a broken one isn't time. It's procrastination. It's the times you stayed silent when you should have spoken. It's the times you turned away when you should have stayed. And I, a failed father, am living proof of that cold truth. Now I'm 85, living alone in a room so quiet that even a single leaf falling outside can be heard clearly. But the real noise isn't out there, it's in my head. It's the sound of things that could have happened, but never will again. People think the greatest pain of old age is loss. That's wrong. The greatest pain is realizing you had the chance to love more, speak more, live more, and you didn't. When you're young, you think life is long. When you're old, you realize life isn't short or long. Life is just a series of moments you either seized or missed. I look up at Mary's photo on the shelf. She's smiling, that gentle smile I once took for granted. And in my head only two words echo. 10 minutes. The 10 minutes I didn't give her. The 10 minutes that if I'd gotten up from my desk that day, might have given me many more years to love. Then I look at Daniel's photo. His eyes in that graduation picture are still bright, still full of hope for the future. I touch the frame lightly, and the only question that stabs is, did you hear me? Hear my apology. Hear me say I love you. Hear what I should have said when you were still little. You don't just lose the people you love once. You lose them bit by bit in memory. Every time you recall a moment you should have been there but weren't. Every memory becomes a cut, a punishment, a reminder that time doesn't come back for you to fix things. And looking at young people today, I see them repeating my exact mistakes. I see couples sitting next to each other, but eyes glued to phones. I see people working 60 hours a week, exhausted yet convincing themselves they're building a future. I see children growing up in homes full of notification sounds but lacking conversation. I see people who believe they're special, that they'll get to call their parents tomorrow, spend time with their spouse. Tomorrow, say sorry tomorrow, but tomorrow is not a guaranteed asset. It's an empty promise. Time doesn't sign with anyone. And from the position of someone who lost both wife and son because he believed in that tomorrow, I say plainly you're repeating my exact path. The path of postponed calls. The path of swallowed love words. The path of half-lived lives. With hearts always wanting to say something but mouths always saying later. And if you keep going, your ending will be like mine. Sitting in a room full of photos, trying to dig up precious moments but only finding the times you were absent. There is no pain greater than waking up when everyone you loved is no longer here for you to make it right. And if after everything I've told you, you're still wondering what to do with the life ahead, here are the 3 biggest lessons 85 years of life have taught me. Lessons I wish I'd understood earlier, when Mary was still cooking dinner in the kitchen, and Daniel was still running around the house, begging me to play. Lesson 1. If you love someone, give them your time, not when you're free, not when you're less busy, not this weekend we'll see, but right now, today. Time is the unit of measurement for love. Whoever you give your time to is your true priority. Don't fool yourself. Lesson 2. Presence is the only gift that never goes out of style. A timely hug, a conversation without looking at your phone, a dinner without rushing. Those seemingly small things are the foundation of a full life. People don't remember the gifts you give. They remember how you made them feel. Seen, important, loved. Lesson 3. Later is the cruelest lie you allow yourself to believe. There is no later. No tomorrow, no after things settle. That's how you drop an entire life, without noticing. And if my life has any value, it's as living and painful proof of that truth. So hear me say this with all the seriousness a man at the end of life can have. Don't wait until your house becomes as quiet as this one to realize what you've lost. If your parents are still alive, call them tonight. Don't think. Don't delay. Pick up the phone and call. If you love someone, say I love you first. Don't wait for them to say it. Don't wait for a special occasion. Every day you still hear their voice is a special day. When someone talks to you, put the phone down. Look up. Look into their eyes. Let them know you're there, really there. And for the person you love, the one you always tell yourself tomorrow, I'll make time. Give them 10 minutes today. The 10 minutes I didn't give Mary. The 10 minutes that could have changed my entire life. If you have unfinished business with anyone, an old friend, a family member, a sibling you were once angry with, call them. Don't wait for them to reach out. They might be waiting for you, and time doesn't wait for either of you. I'm 85. I don't have many days left to fix my life. But you do. Go. Live the life I let slip away. Say what needs to be said. Love in a way you'll never regret. Don't learn this lesson the way I did. Live right now before time turns everything you love into memories you can never touch again. If what I've shared touches you, please hit subscribe so you don't miss the lessons life taught me at a very high price. See you in the next conversation, while we still have time to change.